Oh yeah.
Yo, what up, 33? Tell me something good.
Everybody.
You know, they tell me life don't come with no menu, so we gonna take it a day at a time.
Man, about time you got here, man. Light your cigar, do whatever you gotta do. Get comfortable so we can get this game going. Oh, shit, what do you need to come out? Man, just hold your man, man. That's all you gotta do. Play some defense.
Man, too late, man. Domino, Gant.
Good days, great nights. Good days, great nights. Ooh, oh, oh. Make your favorite cigar. Some cognac.
This one's a real special one today, y'all. I got two Kansas City's amazing women in here doing something great with the community. We also here at the Hookah Lounge and everything, Pure Lounge on Main Street. So this is a special one for me because I get a chance to be around some bosses, some female bosses. I think it's gonna be good to see everything they had all come together. So you know my rule. Of course, we don't never tell them their names first. We always kind of get to know them. So I know y'all probably been thinking, trying to get y'all stuff together. So don't think too hard. Let it be as it be. So I'll let. Which one of y'all want to pick the state? Where we going? We jumping in the car today. Where we going? Where you want to go?
It could be quick. Yeah. We can do Chicago.
Chicago, okay. That's 8 hours,
okay
right?
With that? Yeah.
Okay, Chi-Town, so we gotta go through the little, okay. So 8 hours. In 8 hours, I happen to know you guys at the contact with both of y'all, so when you look at it and people don't know you, so they base it off of what they know about your brand, they know about what they hear, what they see on the internet. We'll cut it short. Y'all want 5 or y'all want 3? Y'all can do 5?
Yeah, we can do 5.
Okay, so you get whoever wanna go 5 first, or y'all can bounce back and forth. That might be cool, and just kind of give me the reason. No, matter of fact, stick to your 5 because I got it remember.
Okay.
All right.
We can bounce.
Y'all can bounce?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. You start your first.
I would say legacy pieces of me.
Okay.
I picked that because I feel like a lot of times when people see me, I kind of like a hard exterior. But I'm kind of like a hopeless romantic.
Okay.
And I just like really love hard. It don't matter if it's like friendship, husband obviously, or friend, you know, like kinship. I love real hard. And sometimes I don't think people understand it, the nature of it.
Okay.
And I feel like I relate to that song a lot.
So legacy pieces of me.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to keep going or you want to swap it out?
You want to swap it out? You can keep. I like it.
Okay.
The other one I did was Anita Baker.
Okay.
In the Same Old Love, 365. I did that for the nostalgia. Like I always think about just kind of like growing up, like seeing your parents. I think most of all for me is like family functions. Like no matter what how chaotic it is, at the end you will always see families and you'll see the husband and wives kind of grab each other. And if you're from Kansas City, you know Missouri, they'll be 2 stepping stuff as they're wrapping stuff up. And so for me, just the words of it, and then just seeing how it made like black older couples kind of move. It's like I want that type of thing, you know. So that's why I did that one. The other one I did.
You got a notebook?
I know I had to. Because I have this little list that I do every day.
Okay.
And I was just thinking about on my playlist the songs that I always play over. Okay. And so sometimes I be needing a little motivation. And I think my motivational songs are all like, honestly, like Beyonce. Okay. But the one that I did was Move Forever with her, Childish Gambino and Jay-Z. I feel like it's just a dope song. And then when you're a black entrepreneur, a lot of times you can kind of relate. I feel like they always speak in something. And so you kind of relate to it, kind of make you get your hustle up. The other one I did was Jay-Z and Beyonce Lift Off. Because I think it's important to have like a certain type of balance when you're an entrepreneur. Right. And it just speaks volume on how like they kind of correlate their lives and their business to like basically venture together. So like that's goals. My final one is Legacy again, and it's All the Way.
All the way.
And I just feel like it's one of those things where, you know, again, like I just strongly believe in love, like love for, you know, whoever you love. But I feel like at the end of the day, it's supposed to conquer all. Okay. So that's kind of why I like Legacy.
So Legacy 12. Love, Pieces of Me. Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Childish Gambino. Anita Baker. Okay, and then you're going to say Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas come to step too. We're gonna let it make it.
I mean, do Kansas too.
Watch it.
When they come across the river.
Watch it, man.
Right.
But I know some of the best two-steppers here, either from Kansas City, Kansas. It's Lucha. Don't do all that gangbang stuff.
Okay.
So with your list, it's based off of love. It's based off of building a brand, and then you would also say it's based off of like where you come from, like the nostalgia, where you come from, the city you come from.
Yeah.
Okay, so without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to the CEO, the big time lady in charge of House of Strands, DeEtta Conway. How you doing today?
I am good. I'm good.
Okay, so we'll come back to you in just a second. We got another guest. We got to get her file. She had her phone out too, so I know she cheated.
No, I was list. No, I don't have a list. I was on Insta story. Okay. My 5. Okay, I think it's a little bit for me. Of course, we're gonna always start with love. So mine is Tamia. Her song is called Still. I love that song because it's related to my husband and my kids. You know, it's just a really good, like, no matter what we go through, we're still gonna be there for each other. We're still gonna love each other. And I'm like really big on like loyalty and never giving up, working things out. And just, you know, riding for my family no matter what. So I really love that song on top of She Is my favorite single.
Okay.
Number 2 would have to be Kim.
Okay.
Come on here. She got a song called Revolution on her album Notorious K.I.M.
Mm-hmm.
She's my favorite female rapper. And the song is about like her writing, basically her, Puff Daddy, and Caesar are about to go like do a murder show.
Okay.
And so basically they're about to go like ride on somebody who ride on them. They family and friends. And so it just, the whole scenario of the song is just breaking down each step leading up to this murder.
To the scene, okay.
To the scene, you know. And it, right, it's storytelling. And for me, I love, like, I'm real big on loyalty, so I'm very loyal. And I love that hardcore gangster, like, female type rap. Like, I love that. Like, I don't, like, okay, I like Nicki Minaj and Cardi, but they not hardcore. I really love that hardcore rap. That gutter. Can we curse? I really like that gutter shit. Like, I love, like, hardcore, like, I done been through some shit, you know what I'm saying? So, that's why I chose that song. My third song, of course, would be Beyonce. You cannot leave her out. She's the epitome of just excellence. Anyway, so her song, Who Run the World, Girls? Who Run the World? Girls? I don't know. But because, for me, that means a lot to me because at the end of the day, the world ain't moving without us. You know, we are bringing life into this world, and we make a lot of shit happen. We do what we gotta do no matter what. And we run this shit. Yeah. And then I have 2 more. Is that 3?
You got 2 more.
I got 2 more, okay. Another Beyonce song called Daddy. My father was killed when I was 9. So that song really resonates with me. And just, you know, the outpour of how much she loves her father. So I really love that song. And then Brandy is my other favorite singer. What's it called? When You Touch Me. So I love that song because, again, I'm married. It's a very like lovey-dovey song, very sexual song, and it really just breaks down like how strong her love is for her partner, whatever this song. So I really, really love that song. That's my favorite song.
Okay, so we got Brandy, love song.
When You Touch Me.
When You Touch Me. We got Beyonce. We got Lil' Kim.
Yeah.
And Buffy and Steve.
Revolution.
And we got Beyonce again. And what was it?
Who Run the World?
No, we did that one. We said that one.
No, we said Daddy.
Daddy Who Run the World.
Okay, and then we did Tamia Still.
Tamia. That's
Yeah.
it. Okay, so Tamia Still. Okay. So your list is based off of The morals of growing up without a father, making sure you fight in your marriage with your kids, with your business, with everything. Okay. So then you also have the Beyonce's, of course. You letting it be known that y'all run the world.
Yeah.
And then if you get there, you can get gangster.
Yeah.
Okay, so without further ado, another CEO, another boss. How do you you want me to call you what the world call you? Okay, so I know you as Pink.
Yeah.
Kenyata.
Kenyata.
I'm sorry, I don't want to mess it up. You got a beautiful brand
Thank you.
called Pink Lips, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I appreciate both of y'all, man, just for
Yeah.
just for being here with me, all right?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Man, I appreciate it. So I think it's needed in the sense of when it comes to women, especially black women, to see the growth, to see two black women. I think your business about what, 7? 10. And then you're about
5 so far.
So about 5. So okay, so if you look at that, that's not in not just Kansas City, but a little bit of everywhere. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important that we celebrate it and make sure that we give you your house flowers. I put y'all two together because it's still in the same. It's not the same line, but it's the same line because you're catering to women as well. You see what I'm saying? So I want to make sure they see two strong black women being able to sit at the table together and break bread.
Yeah.
Because when you see younger kids, they don't see that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you start building family dynamics and you see young girls, you see the vice president, she's the first black woman to do it. So you want to make sure that that's supported and that's pushed upon, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the main reasons why I put y'all together. So in hindsight of it, when you look at it, it's always good to see like women grow and women go to a high level and then leave the door open for each other to come through.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So you said you stress you have kids, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you have kids, you have a business. You have kids yet? You don't
No
have kids.
kids.
Okay, so
No babies.
when you got nieces and nephews and stuff like
Maybe,
that.
yes.
Okay. So let me get it on so we can get both of them, okay? And then y'all just have to lean up a little bit for me. So when you look at that and you constantly moving, plus if you got a regular job, if you don't have a regular job, you got all that stuff on the table, then you turn around and come back to it, you gotta find the balance, right? So how do you guys think it is, like, it's not the best answer, it's just an answer. How do you balance life itself with being a mother, a wife, a business owner, an auntie, a friend, and everything else? How do you balance it?
For me, I set schedules
Okay.
and I cannot break it.
Okay.
Because if I break that schedule, I'm all that way. So like for me, I know that Monday through Thursday, I'm a full-time mom.
Okay.
Until they go to sleep. Full-time mom and a wife until my family go to sleep. And then I'm working on my business between the hours of like 10 and 2 in the morning.
Okay, so it's up. It's
Yeah.
up there.
So Friday, Saturday, Sunday is when I am fully into my business. My husband takes over as far as like doing what needs to be done for the kids. And then I just have to keep those schedules. So that's my balance. Knowing that I have to get this done during this time, and then I handle this during this time. Now, do I waver? Yes, of course, because life is not about keeping schedule, planning and things like that. But I think just realizing what's important,
Okay.
what's important during that time. My family time is very important. And my husband, like, it's Sunday. We ain't doing business stuff. This is family time, so just really realizing what's important and sticking to the plan.
Okay. And then what about you?
I would say prioritizing. Sometimes we have conversations with other friends who do have kids, and so they always think I got like all this allotted time. But I always, I'm a hard worker. Like, I don't know nothing but work. Like, if there's something I want and I want to achieve it, that's what I'm going to do. So a lot of times I've had to kind of prioritize things, but also include my husband in my business ventures too.
Okay.
Just because sometimes that can be like a building moment for us because, he's ultimately like now growing his own business too.
Okay.
And so it's just like we share a lot of things. But like she said, a lot of times Sunday you cut it off. I don't cut it off the whole Sunday because sometimes your mind start wondering, like you start coming up with these ideas. Like, I'm a dreamer. So
Right.
whatever I do have to take time, but I just have to make sure I break away. but I find myself a lot of times having wife guilt.
Gotcha.
And that's like major too, because you have to have that time with each other. And me and my husband, we started off as best friends, so you are used to that type of time together. And when that time is not there, it can create friction. So just prioritizing, and I just had to learn that sometimes I can't spread myself thin, because then I'm no good for them, life, or my business.
Okay. So I think that's good, because you got to have a schedule. I think that's where women come in to help men, because we don't have time management a lot of times.
Right.
We're not really worried about it. We kind of like treating life at the seat of our pants. We just going with the flow.
Right.
So I think that's good that you have that balance, and to set it apart from that, is that something that was taught to you guys, or that's something you just kind of had to learn along the way?
Definitely had to learn along the way, because, like she said, wife guilt. You know, my husband would be like, "You ain't made no time for us.
Right,
you
right.
ain't made no time for me." You know, so it was kind of like, okay, figure it out.
Okay.
Something I had to learn along the way for sure.
For me, just being really transparent. It's something that kind of was taught to me, but then I had to get my own like schedule going, because I suffer from anxiety, and a lot of time that is about timing and
Right.
being organized. So a lot of times I tell people I'm a person, like, I blow off the hinges if I feel like someone's 30 minutes to an hour late, because then I feel like my whole day is off.
Right.
So then I'm just like overwhelmed with like, okay, how am I gonna do this, do that? And so I just kind of made a schedule for myself, because I know that that's one of my triggers. And a lot of times I'm fortunate enough that I have a husband who is very organized. And so we are kind of two in the same in that. So when I get off, he'd be like, how would you feel about that? You know, even though I want to hear it. But it's one of the things that I have had to do. But lately, I tell people all the time, sometimes I show up late on purpose, just because it won't put me in a space where I'm feeling overwhelmed. So,
Gotcha.
or, you know, sometimes I'll be like, it's okay to take a few more minutes for me and show up late, because I took that time for myself.
Right.
Just feeling like I'm there on time. My time is wasted. I could have did something else. So just learning it. But now I'm trying to be carefree.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be carefree now.
And
It'll stress you out.
And it will. Okay, so like just even being transparent with this, like starting this podcast, it was a big thing for me, but it was like, how do I balance it? And man, I don't got no kind of like balance of it. I'm just kind of like going at the, the seat of my pants, because I'm trying to get to a place that, of course, that is syndicated. That's the ultimate goal. Like, you're not doing it just for no reason. You're doing it for a reason, of course. So I want it to be something that's going to always be a reference guide for everybody else. So sometimes, man, and I've talked to you about it, as far as like business, and I told you I want to pick your brain, because I find myself sometimes going on there looking at the analytics, like the numbers ain't moving, they ain't listening to it. And it's hard, because I'm looking at it like, man, I got to take care of my kids. Like, I got to spend time with them. So the time that I have with them, I shut this all the way down. Like, this is, because it's like, it's so important to me to have that time with them, man, because as a kid, man, I knew like 16-hour days from my dad. My mom worked historic suites. They were always kind of like busy, like in two different separate households. So when they get their time with me and they're around, man, I make sure that it's that. But it's one of them things that it does give you that anxiety. It does make you worry, because you want to make sure that your brand is, being seen right, being done right. So it's like, I get that. I think, and for y'all to balance it all with your husbands, like that's special, because a lot of times you get husbands that's not supportive, or they're not understanding. They look at it as, oh, this is just another business. It don't matter. You see what I'm saying? Right. So with that, I think that that's something that you have to see, and I think people have to see it so they'll know that it's going their way in their range. So I think that that's dope. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at it, do you think that it's better to have a business before marriage, or do you think it's better to have the business with the person and y'all have the brand together? So, because you see what I'm saying, like sometimes some women may say, hey, I got to have this, all my ducks in a row first, then I get married, so he got to respect my brand. Other women might say, no, my brand, he going to ride with it, but even if he doesn't, I'm going to start my dream, because this is my dream. So how do you feel about that?
I know for me, I did have my business before I got married. And I was still in the learning stage of it. I was still learning how to build it. But once I got married, my husband is like a natural researcher. So, like, he helped me. I'm not going to say he helped me build my business, but he helped me teach myself how to educate myself more. Or, like, he helped fund it,
Okay.
He showed me, like, I'm here, I got your back. You know what I'm saying? So that made me put a little more effort into it. I'm not one of those people that I got to have everything in order before I got to have this, I got to have that before this. No, if I'm passionate about it, if I want it, I'm going to get it.
Right.
And if you don't support it, you just don't support it. If you ain't there to have my back, sorry, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to respect you, but at the end of the day, I'm not with that. Like, if you ride with me, let's do it.
Right.
Luckily, thankfully, I have a husband who's riding with me, who believes in my brand just as much as I do, if not more. Who pushes me and motivates me, and again, he is like one of my number one investors.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I'm just grateful.
That's what's up. Mm-hmm. How do you feel?
I think for me, prior to I was trying to build something, and I talked to my husband about it quite often. And so when I finally decided to because it started off with me and my sister, and that's kind of like a marriage that you don't want to mess up. But when I seen that we both had two ideas of business,
yes, ma'am.
It was for us, to keep our relationship and still be able to be sisters and friends, we just cannot. And I think I was more passionate about it than my sister too. It was more or less well, this is something we can do together. I support you. So when I decided to kind of build on something myself, I was nervous about if it would offend my sister.
Okay.
And so Keith was the one that was no, anybody that know you have a dope mindset.
Right.
You sit back, you help other people. If this is something you're passionate about, why not do it? So a lot of times I would, even now, once I went by myself, you almost feel like you have to have someone there with you, because you're who am I going to talk to it about? Right. I don't want to burn my mate out. I don't want to burn my mom out, because I tell her everything too. And it just got to a point where he would always be a sounding board, even though he didn't know nothing about it. He I don't know about no hair, I don't know about no accessories. But he still did listen. And I will say with Keith, he's a person, he shares my stuff more than I do. I'm what I'm hiring a virtual assistant for a marketing thing, you doing it, he'll do more than that. So I am grateful for that. But as far as he's been there from the beginning, but we kept it very separate.
Gotcha.
So when people ask Keith stuff, I always say, and he'll tell them that's her brand. I know certain things about it, but ultimately that's hers. Because I definitely believe it's very important, because as women, a lot of times we lose ourselves in relationships.
Right.
Because we want to gear everything towards this person. We want to make you happy. We want to do that. And I didn't want to ever lose myself. So this is something for me, you know. And so for me, I was okay with I literally started our business in the midst of wedding planning. So I wasn't nice, but that's when I started it. But for business, for me to do it before marriage or during my wedding, it wasn't a problem. My thing has always been now, that's what's held me back from kids, because I want to be a super hands-on mom.
Got you. Okay, so that was your thing. So
that's
you said,
yeah.
Okay, so do it now, so later on you'll be good.
Yeah, it'd just be working by itself. I'll wake up and it'd be cha-ching, and I'm at the park or something with a kid or PTA, That's my thing about it, because I just really want to be hands-on, because my mom was like that. And I just don't want to miss out on anything, because my mom was hands-on, but she worked a lot.
Gotcha.
So it was certain moments she did miss out on. I don't want to be that person.
Gotcha. So with that, so balancing that out, how she's saying that, how does that, so have you found yourself missing some moments?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't miss. I'm at every basketball game, every cheerleading game, all that. I don't miss, because it's just, family is just important to me.
Right.
Business can wait, and I'm at a point in my business where I don't have to run my business.
Gotcha.
So I don't operate my social media. I don't engage with my consumers, because I have someone in place of that. So I'm at a place where I can be mom. When I go to work on the weekends to do makeup, they at home chilling anyway.
Right.
But when it's those important things, I'm not missing.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so that's cool. Okay, so looking at it, when you look at the brand and you look at how you come as a child, was that something that was always how did you pick your brand, and then how did you pick your brand? What made it be I want to sell hair, and I want to make sure makeup is tight? What happened?
For me, it came later, I believe. So I'm in a family where there has been entrepreneurs and things of that nature.
Right.
But the whole hair thing, it came later. It came in college, because I used to be a person every week going to get your hair done with your mom, stuff like that.
Right.
And then even though I left, but then I came back and I was close to home, you still not washing your hair in Warrensburg. You're not doing none of that.
Sure not.
And I had kind of got to a point where I was kind of tired of spending money on hair and stuff, and lots of money, and it wouldn't quality or having terrible customer service and things like that. And so when it came to hair, it was more or less like I want to do hair, but I later want to venture out to a thing that's like all things kind of like beauty for women, like things that make you kind of feel good. And I always found myself like buying accessories and being into hair, getting my hair done and stuff like that. So I was like, sooner or later I'll branch off and do stuff. And so I've been lucky enough to be able to do that, and hopefully it keeps growing that way. But I knew I would be doing business some kind of way. I just didn't really think it would be hair because I was one of them girls in school. You had long hair, you think you don't need weed. Now I'm addicted. Right.
Okay.
I'm addicted now.
Okay.
So, I mean, it just came.
Okay.
And I didn't question it.
No doubt.
That's what's up. I kind of grew up under the entrepreneurship umbrella. My mom and dad were entrepreneurs. So I grew up in the beauty industry, and my father was an owner of a couple of, like, clothes cleanings.
Okay.
So my mom did hair for so long. She had like 7 salons. So anyway, I knew that I wanted to be in the beauty industry. So I did, at 16, I went and got my nail license. Because here I am trying to model after my mom. She does hair. And I'm like, well, I want to be in the beauty industry. But I don't want to do hair. So I went and got my nail license at 16 because that's when you can get your cosmetology license. And so I did that. Even in high school, I was doing nails and stuff. But college came, and I was doing nails and feet in college.
Let me find out you was doing lead press-ons and stuff back in the day. Let me find out you was at the Ventures getting the joints.
I was pretty good at 16.
Okay.
But anyway, so fast forward. After college, I went to Warrensburg too.
Okay.
After college, I got pregnant with my daughter, and I went back to nail school because my license had expired. So
Right.
I'm pregnant with my daughter in nail school again. I get my license. I'm doing nails. And then my daughter at the age of 2, she had this like weird obsession for like lip gloss. And I know kids love lip gloss. You know, that's just, little
Right.
girls love lip gloss. Hell, we love lip gloss too.
Right.
But it was something about my daughter, how much she loved it. It was kind of just like, girl. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make her some. You know, this would be something for me and her to do together.
Okay.
So I made her some lip gloss. And I made all this lip gloss, all this lipstick. And my family was just like, this stuff is really good. Like, you're
Right.
like, oh, my God, maybe you should turn this into a business. And I'm like, okay. Because I knew I wanted, you know, I already
Find
kind of had
something,
that
yeah.
entrepreneurship mindset even at 16. So I knew that I was going to do something in business. Like, I'm going to do something in business because I come from it. Yeah. So my nickname is Pinky. And then I was making lip products. So that's where Pink Lips came from.
Mm-hmm.
I got on Twitter one day and was like, I need an investor.
Okay.
Somebody that I knew of but didn't really know.
Okay.
He gave me $10,000. Yeah, right?
All right. I ain't going to touch it. I'm
Right.
let it be that. Okay.
So I was like, are you sure?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, like your vision is dope. I ain't never known nobody to do this. So yeah, let's do it. So he gave me $10,000. I launched my brand. Months later, he was like, you ain't got to pay me nothing back.
On the love.
I'm like, okay. So
On
it
the
ended
love.
up being, right, ended up being a gift. And that's just kind of where I got started.
That's dope. Okay, so to kind of piggyback off of that, man, when I first came into this, I was in the middle of a mental change, life change, and things was going on. And I was talking to a couple of my cousins, a couple of my homeboys, and they was just like, hey, what you trying to do? I'm like, man, I think I'm going to do this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got a book idea, but I think I'm going to do this podcast or whatever. And they was like, what you want to do? So I'm telling them, giving them the 5 songs and all of this and all of that. And they was loving it. They was loving it more than me. And one day, one of my cousins, he was like, man, what's in your Amazon cart? I'm like, Amazon cart? I got mics in here. I got this in here and all of that. He's like, all right, send me your Amazon cart. I'm like, what? So same
Your
way.
wish list.
Man, listen, I go sleep, wake up the next day. He like, hey, something should be at your door. When it comes, I'm tripping because I'm like, bro, you ain't have to do that. But it's crazy because some people that's the closest to you be the ones that won't help you start your business.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Like we in this hookah spot right now. I don't know the dynamics, but it had to be 2 people that bought into it, 2 or 3 people. Some people to see your vision. Some people to say, hey, this is going to be dope. This is going to be a good idea. It's going to go somewhere. So since it's going to go somewhere, we're going to support each other. I think that a lot of times when you do that, it puts you in a different places of a different kind of blessing to get back. So that might have been the way he wrote his rights or wrongs or how he felt that.
Exactly.
And then with my cousin, he was just like, man, when I started my engineering and was doing my logistic company, he's like, man, he's like, actually a white guy gave me some money. And he was like, you'd be surprised your own people don't really support you. Exactly. And so it kind of threw it into there. So I kind of understand what you're saying as far as that. So when you're looking at it and you're looking at your kids and you're looking at like families and everything like that, do you think that if you were to be in a situation where you had to start over again, right? And you know better now. What are some of the tips you would give to yourself starting over again from ground one?
Well, I'm actually about to start a second business with my husband because Pink Lips is mine.
Mm-hmm.
So, because we've been doing a lot of like studying on building generational wealth, we decided to start our own business. And so for me, I know that planning and strategies are very important now. I didn't know that then. So like before we actually like came up with a name, after we came up with our name, me and my husband sat down for like 2 hours and we was coming up with like brand strategies, visions, the motto, the brand coloring, all that.
Okay.
And he literally was like, what more do we got to do? I'm like, no, we got to do this first before we even go get this LLC. Like, everything has to make sense. Who are we marketing, down to the T? What type of food do they eat? How old are they? Where do they work? How much money do they make? All that. So, for me, it was strategies. And so now I feel like I'm in a place where I can run a second successful business because those 10 years of figuring it out, really those 9 years of figuring it out, has taught me so much, like all those trials and tribulations and nights of crying and giving up, wanting to give up, but not because I ain't going to give up.
Right.
Has really taught me, like, how to structure this next business going forward. And I'm extremely excited. And I feel like it took me 8 years to really see a major profit in my business.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this next business, prayerfully, 2 years, we can start seeing a huge profit. So because of everything I've learned in my in Pink Lips.
Gotcha. Okay. What you think?
Thank you.
If I was to start over again, I would definitely say it's on the opposite side. Don't plan so much. If you want to do it, and then learn as you're going.
That's good.
Because sometimes I even do it now, and I'm like, no, I ain't gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll see somebody else do it. I'm like, damn it, I should have fucking did that.
Okay.
So that's kind of how it is. So I just like now I'm like, whenever you want to do something, it's okay to plan accordingly because financially you want to make sure that you're not doing nothing to put you in a hindrance. So I'm always thinking like that. But I think it's kind of like the whole business, HR background type thing. You kind of see like things. And I just was always scared of like, if this don't work, this is my money. This is my money, you know? And I'm like, hey, I don't know, I'm going to go home and be like, I done took something out of a joint account instead of my own, just certain things when I was adding things to it. But I would definitely say, like you said, it takes years before you see profit. Like I was lucky enough, like this, like during the pandemic last year, that was my year when I seen crazy stuff. I'm like, I made more last year than I made the 2 years before together. Like a 3 or 4 month period. I'm like, people really at home trying to look cute.
They was at home in the mirror.
Yeah, they was getting into TikTok, making their videos pop.
Yeah.
And I'm here for you.
I think last year, people in business last year just
it flourished.
Exceptional, yes.
It flourished, and I think larger businesses probably kind of hinder because they are paying like so many other people. Mm-hmm. But for people who are self-employed and you have a small team and things like that, like I flourished. Like it was crazy, and I was like, okay, now I have to be able to relinquish control. That is something that I will make sure I do. Like I'm paying for people to help me, and I have trust issues because I'm like, this is my baby. Let it go.
Yeah.
You're paying somebody to help you, but you still up at midnight at 2 o'clock talking and texting. So I'm like, what do I do? But that's it. I would basically find people that I trust and I know will be consistent in my vision. They're passionate about it as well. Mm-hmm. But I also will make sure I just go for it. Like if it don't work, so what? Come back and do it again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that'll be the only thing. Like just go for it. Quit waiting.
Yeah, because business is all about taking risks.
Yeah.
If I told y'all the amount of money I've lost as opposed to what I've gained, you would probably say I'm crazy. But business is all about taking risks.
Right.
And I'm a risk taker, so I'm gonna take those risks.
No doubt.
And that's how I had to think about it. I'm like, you're sitting here, you'll spend money on, trips, you'll spend money on purses and shoes, stuff you'll wear one time, throw it in the back of the closet. Like, what would it be to basically throw yourself $2,000 to do something or this to do that? And I had to learn that too, because at first I want to hold on to my money.
Gotcha.
Or I'd be like, I want to touch and feel it in the closet.
Just hold on to that profit.
But now I'm like, just do it, and it'll come back around. And I also had to learn that it's not going to always be a fast return. Like,
yes,
you literally have to be patient on
it's
it.
a slow return.
Yeah, it's not the drug game.
Right. No. Like, listen. That's like.
Sometimes of the month I feel like
Listen. Hey, but I ain't
something.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. Let me get one of the tips, man. I'm gonna get involved. Can I get some more codes, big brother? I'm gonna get involved. Okay, so I ain't gonna tell you no tale. Like being totally honest, man. When I got into this, I'm like, man, I need a sponsor.
Straight up.
How do I get Coca-Cola? How do I get Pepsi? How do I get
Hashtag.
whoever, whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like I was trying to get there. I wanted DoorDash, Blue Chew, anything that you could think of that was, because like, you know, you watching the other ones, right? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You watching. I'm like, man, I need a sponsor, bro. I need a sponsor that's gonna pay for this, so that way I ain't gotta go to work. You know, I work in healthcare field, so I'm like, man, I want to be able to do, you know what I'm saying, what I need to do, you know, and the thing. You come on in, big brother, you okay? So like, I always wanted it to be that. I wanted the fast return on it, man. And then I started reading on it and looking at it and things. I'm like, man, this ain't nowhere near like the streets. Like,
No, it's
I'm
not.
thinking like, okay, so I get 200 listens, 300 listens, like they gonna come. They like, nah, it don't work like that.
Yeah.
And it's like they put a cap on it to control the narrative, I think sometimes. But I think also God puts a cap on it so He can see your desire.
Yes.
So if He can see your desire, He'll
How
give
bad
you.
you want it.
It's got to be how bad you want it.
Gotta
Because
be.
if it's not about how bad you want it, you'll give up on it quick, fast, in a hurry. You see what I'm saying? And it's one of them things that when you looking at it and you see it, man, you just be like, dang, man, I know I'm almost there. And it's them days that you be like, man, I'm about to let this thing go, and I'm gonna do something else. But it's like something to turn you right back and kind of be like, nah, you ain't. Just stick into it just a little bit
And
longer.
that's why I take risks.
Right.
Because that one risk that I take could lead me to where I need to be.
Okay.
And I feel like every lesson in business, whether you fail or not, to me it's not even failure. Giving up is where the failure comes in. But if you take a risk and it don't work out, that's just a lesson learned. For me, that's how I look at it. It's a lesson learned. I know what to do next time. I know I'll be ready next time.
Yes, ma'am. So I think that's cool. And I was watching interview. I think one of the artists, one R&B dude, he was like, the time you spend not doing it is the time you could have spent doing it, and it still would have been the same. You know what I'm saying? Same result of you doing it, because you're wasting time anyway.
Right.
And one of my partners, he telling me this all the time. He's like, bro, you only get one life.
Fact.
He was like, I don't care how you line it up, how you put it back and forth. He's like, bro, you only get one life. He's like, you're going to wake up one day and stuff going to start looking different. And then we got to change with the times, and then we're going to come back again. And you're going to think about, like he said, you sitting in the bed, you ain't going to think about nothing of the things you did. You're going to think about everything that you didn't do.
Exactly.
And I used to be like, man, huh? And you hear older people say, keep living, young blood, just keep living. And you kind of accustomed to that. So I think now, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a bicycle. I don't care if you want to walk down the street and hand out flyers to somebody. Just do your dreams, because you're really helping somebody. You see what I'm saying? I didn't know this until dropping the first 2 episodes, and people coming to me in my inbox like, hey, man, I got some of the same situations. I got some of the same questions. I would love to be a part of it. And it's cool when it's organic.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? When it's organic, I'm all for it. I don't like nothing that's fabricated. I want everything organic. I want everything to just flow. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times when you forcing things, man, you miss out on so many moments where you come back to it and you be like, dang, I wasn't even in the moment.
Right.
I was too busy trying to force it. So I just kind of let it go. And like you said, the haves versus the have-nots, the little things that I didn't have, man, it's okay. Because I guarantee you this time next year, we're going to be in a whole other situation, because the goal is to be in a building and do this somewhere. And not just do it for me, but it might be a young kid in the city that want to learn how to do this. I'd be ashamed not to give them that game and put them where they need to be.
Exactly.
It might be a young lady, a young man that want to learn what y'all guys doing, and they want to just be an entrepreneur. We'd be shameful not to put them in a place, but a lot of times we have the knowledge, we'll have the wheelhouse, the power to do everything, and we won't give it to each other. And that kind of throws me off. So I guess that's my question to you. Like, when you were coming into your brand, and we almost there, like when you was coming into your brand, do you think, like, was it days that you was asking questions and you couldn't really get the answer, so you had to go look? Or was it days where you was just kind of like, oh, I'm going to ask this person and then they going to tell me, but then they not going to tell me? You see what I'm saying? Like, how was that? Because I know when I asked about some podcast stuff, some people helped me, but they not giving you all their gems. And I think, to me, somewhat that's selfish, because everybody has a lane. And even if we all was doing makeup, or we was all doing hair, we was all doing media, we all have a lane. What I'm talking about ain't what everybody else talking about. So it threw me off, because I'm like, bro, why do we want to keep each other down? Did y'all have some of them moments?
I think I did a little bit, and I think for mine was because I had peers who were doing something similar, and at one time or another, I was like one of their customers, and they know if I get my hair done, I'm going to buy new weave, and I'm going to be extra.
Right.
And so at first, when I would ask certain questions, it was like that. But I'm like, at the end of the day, we're all marketing different people. Mm-hmm. And then as you're gaining knowledge, I don't mind sharing it, but I understand why sometimes you can share so much, but it is good for people to also go seek themselves.
Right.
Because ultimately, if I'm sitting around giving you the game, you're never going to have a conversation with me. But the first time you need a piece of wisdom or, a gem dropped, then it's a conversation. But I also feel like when I look back on people, I did ask questions. They asked that, and I'm like, they made me research it. They made me go out and try different people.
Yeah.
They made me seek something totally different. So a lot of times you're not mimicking how they did theirs or they got the start.
Gotcha.
And I also used to be like, if they don't share nothing, that's messed up. But now I'm learning too, when you're in a certain line of business, beauty in particular, a lot of people are starting to make their money by selling their goal, selling their steps to success.
Gotcha.
And that's how your business continues to grow, because now you can host a conference.
Yeah,
If somebody really wanted, the same way I had to go search and basically have a few head bumps, now instead of you basically losing all that money, I can tell you, okay, well, it's best to start here if you do this. It's best to do this. It's best to do that. So I think sometimes it's okay to give, but if it's like your parents, if they gave you every single thing, you would know work ethic from nothing, unless they showed you, they told you that's what it is. So I always say don't take it personal. Me, when people didn't say it, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Maybe she feel like, girl, how dare you? But I never took it personal. I was still seeing people, if I don't have something, still do it now. That's like my hairdresser now. I love her because...
Okay, shout her out.
Her name is Abriana,
okay.
Google Bree. I love her because
She's my hairstylist too.
Hold on.
I love her because when I first started going to her, I was like, because she was like, I seen your stuff before. Who did you get your hair? I was like, I went to Thea, that's my boo. I went to her for like 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And she was like, I was like, it's just different. She had a baby and she have older twins, so she wanted to experience motherhood.
Right.
And so I was like, I've been seeing you. I'm like, but I don't know, because I don't, whatever. She was like, no. So as soon as I started going to her, I loved her. And shortly after, she started selling hair and stuff.
Okay.
And so really when I get my hair done, we'll sit in there and we'll talk about stuff. We'll talk about like our trips that we took over there. During the pandemic, like it might have been something that I didn't have. I would let her know, like, hey, Bree, this girl want her hair done. Her person not doing it. Can you do this?
Right.
She want this kind of hair. I don't sell that kind of hair. And it's been a few where she's like, hey, boo, do you got a closure or whatever like that? Because she's just seen the quality of it. So, and that was crazy because I've only known her for like 2.5, 3 years now.
And that's crazy.
And it was crazy because people already have like a negative connotation of like women in
right.
general. So when we would sit down and talk business, it came just so organic. And now it's like when I go there, she'd be like, I can just feel your spirit when it ain't whatever. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, boo. Because on that level, and I know that that's my hairdresser, that's not my friend, but it's always super organic. And we always share. And I remember one time I had some lashes fall out my back. She was like, put them on my shelf. So I'm like, I like her. She's up and coming. She got a name for herself. She's doing good. And she would always be like, dang, you be selling her like crazy and you don't even do hair. And I'm like,
right.
I think sometimes it's just the touch that you put on it. Now they want to buy it because they want the same look. But I admire her like somebody that sell hair. And me and her are pretty new in the game compared to a lot of people in Kansas City.
Okay, so she do both of your hair. So I need to see her. I need to sit down and have a conversation.
She's my friend too.
So she got the city on lock. Okay.
She
know music too. You think she got 5 songs?
She can do something.
She got 5 songs. Is she
Yeah,
young?
she
don't
she'll
know
be
no
30
music.
this year.
Oh, well, she might know a few songs. She don't really know
She got
no
an old
music.
soul.
Okay.
She got an old soul.
She's been through some things.
Okay, so yeah, we'll have to touch bases.
I'm like,
and see
I
what we
like
can
her
get
spirit. And I was telling her one time, because she was kind of saying something. And I was like, you know what? No matter what family dynamics and stuff, I was like, you're super blessed, because I'll hear her talk about your business, damos and stuff. And I'm like, you're super blessed that your friends are out here making moves and y'all all support each other.
That's
they
dope.
all support each other. And I'm like, that's dope, because you'll have friends that you've been knowing since kindergarten. And if they feel like you're leaving them, you'll start seeing envy or, things like that. And you just don't get that. So to be in this beauty business and your closest friends are in beauty too,
Right.
that's dope. Y'all learning from each other.
That's what's up.
Definitely learning from each other.
What you think?
I'm the type of person where I'm not asking questions. I'm going to go find it for myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember not one time when I was asking somebody for help. Just because for me, I take pride in knowing that I can figure this out. I can strategize by myself. I actually want to make the mistake. So if I make the mistake, I know what not to do next time. So
Gotcha.
for me, I want to take the stairs for me. I wasn't
Gotcha.
really asking questions. Plus, I'm really the only cosmetic line in Kansas City that's, I don't know, how can I say this? That's really taking it serious.
Gotcha. I mean,
You know what I'm
say
saying?
it is what it is.
You're a growing brand. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
you're a growing
Yes.
brand. It's okay to be humble, but you ain't got to be humble when you don't make accolades. You're the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not really somebody that I can go to and ask for advice as far as my industry.
Gotcha.
But I do have like a mentor. like
Right.
an older lady that I grew up in church with that I can go to and say, you know, how can I handle this situation,
Gotcha.
you know, in business, because she is self-employed as well. But I'm the type of person, I'm taking the stairs, I'm reading, I'm studying, I got tens and thousands of notebooks, like I'm figuring it out on my own, because I appreciate those nights where, damn, I messed up, but the next morning I'm ready to tackle it again. Like, I appreciate those moments. So even when people ask me, because I've had a lot of people ask me, like, straight to the point, like, how do I start my own cosmetic line? And I let them know, is this your passion?
But that's cool though.
You know, I really will check them, like, is it your passion? What do you know about the cosmetic industry? What do you know about chemical formulations? And if they ain't giving me answers to let me know that they're passionate, I tell them you need to do some studying, and Google is your best friend.
But I think, yeah, that's real good. And I think y'all just kind of taught me something, because it was a thing of it. Taking the stairs is dope, and I think it gives you a better understanding of of what you're doing. So that makes sense.
I'm glad people told me no.
And I think that's
And it's weird that you say that, because normally I'm a person like that. Like,
right.
I want to research, I want to do that. But I think when I was asking, I never really was asking, like, oh, who's your vendor, who's this,
No,
who's
people
that?
was asking those questions,
I can only imagine.
like, where can I get this? Where can I get that? And I would have to let them know, like, listen, I worked hard for this information. It paid to be the boss. Like, like, this shit costs. And, like, if you really serious, we can sit down and we can break it down, because of everything that I've learned, I don't want you to be in this game for 20 years and you ain't figured it out yet. I'm gonna lace you.
Yeah.
But I want to know you serious.
Gotta see the drive.
I'm not giving you the game if you're not serious and passionate and hungry, because money cannot be the force.
Nope.
It can't be the driving force. You can't be doing this for money, because it's gonna be nights where you ain't gonna make no money. It's gonna be weeks when you ain't gonna make no money. Then you're gonna give up. But if you got that passion and that hunger, that shit don't matter. It don't matter. You're going to keep going. Real. So I have to know I have to know, whoever's in my inbox, I got to know you hungry. I got to know you passionate. Come be my intern for 3 months. Show me that you ready to go through these trenches. And if you ready, we can do this shit.
3 months, that's nice.
Let me find out y'all walk.
Time for 2 years in college. No, I'm just saying, like, so that's nice that you be still want to drop that. I think a lot of times people think that when they see, sometimes we don't show the grit and grind. Yeah. So a lot of times people see the beauty of it.
Right.
So they feel like, oh, this person look like they're living this type of lifestyle. They living this type of lifestyle. I want that. And it's like, but you ain't knowing how many sleepless nights or how many times you done made a bank account negative.
Exactly.
Right.
Or, it was times where, you're working 1 or 2 jobs, and like one of your jobs is just to basically fund your business. So, I think people don't see that a lot of times, so that's why they want to do it.
And people I think this generation wants everything handed to them.
And fast.
And even with my child, she's 12, she wants everything handed to her. And I have to let her know, you working for this shit. You working for it. My parents worked, I worked, you're going to work. You're going to work hard for this.
I think that's definitely I say that all the time, because my daughter's 12. She'll be 13 this year, and I have a 2-year-old. Man, when I look at them and I could think about like us, man, my dad used to make us cut the grass 2 ways. Like, I'm talking about like you cut it in the lines one way, then you come back and cut it the other way. He wanted a checkerboard in his yard. And I'm like, man, what do you care about this grass for? He was like, it ain't about the grass, man. It's about the desire. It's about the workload. If I teach you how to work now, later on, man, you not going to work. You're not going to work. Later on, you're gonna understand how to put yourself in a position where you ain't got to do this. Like, and I used to be like, man, like my friends would come. He'd be like, nah, he got to help me change his motor out this car. And I'm like, man, I don't even want to do this. I want to go play basketball. I want to go to the game. I want to go chase girls. Whatever I want to do at the time. I just didn't want to do that. But he was like, man, I'm just trying to prepare you. Yeah. And he made us earn everything. That little $10 to $25 or that little allowance we was getting, we had to earn it. We had to earn the trips to Just for Feet.
But it meant so much more because you worked hard for it.
That's true. That's 100% true. And I think a lot of kids, they don't. They don't. Like, and then I be kind of like, I kind of blame us as parents sometimes too, because I be looking at my kid like, get off that tablet. But then I find myself doing what? Checking my phone, on my phone. And my daughter looking at me like, how you on us about this and you over here on your phone? So I'm like, man, all right, we all cut the electronics out. Let's go outside.
How about I'm grown?
That, I mean,
no, because I do as I say, not as I do.
This month. No.
You can't be like that.
You really can't, though. You know, you can't.
So, no, I mean, and I get it, man, but I think it's so much like when you putting your kids into that type of time, man, you got to make sure that they see it, because they do think that they're supposed to go over there, press 30 seconds, it's supposed to pop out, and whatever it is.
When you go in the store, you gotta tell them. Even if you got it, sometimes you gotta say no.
Say no.
And I'm like, and I didn't understand my dad. He's be like, no. And I'm like, why? He's like, you got a C instead of all A's and B's. I'm like, that's the best you got? Like, he like, yeah. And if you say something else, I'm gonna smack you in your mouth.
Right.
Like, it was like, no, you know what I'm saying? That. So like now when my daughter, like, she's coming to the stage where like, we're here, right? So this past week, she wanted, my cousin was doing her hair. And she wanted what's the faux locks? Like locks or whatever. And I've been kind of like trying to let her find herself. You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, I told my cousin, hey, they can't be super long. They got to be this, they got to be that, right? So she gets them. And she's not like taking care of like wrapping them up at night. So they started unraveling. So her mom was like, that's why I don't let you pick your hair because you don't know what you're doing. But I tell her mama like, hey, let her find her way. Yeah. Because if she finds her way, she'll appreciate it more later on. And her mom's like, nah, I understand, but I just want to keep her, mother hen, you want to hold them down and keep them protected. So I think that's good.
That's really good that you're letting your child find her way because I'm going through that with my daughter. I'm kind of letting her be who she is. Like, I don't want to put her in a box because she's one of those kids. She's outspoken. She's got this huge personality. I'm talking about, like, the day she was born, she was sucking her thumb laughing in that little baby cradle. I'm like, right. You a day old. Like, what the fuck is so funny?
Right.
So, like, she has this huge personality. And so I, for a while, was trying to tame her, like,
right.
Don't say that type of stuff or lower your voice. But it's just her. It's her personality. So I'm kind of going through that stage of allowing her to be herself in a respectable manner.
Right.
She don't play that shit. Yeah.
Right.
But allowing these kids to really be themselves, because our parents didn't. No, you're gonna be who I say you're gonna be. You're gonna wear what I say you're gonna wear because I bought it. You're gonna eat what I say you're gonna eat. All that, but now it's like it's different nowadays. Like my mama used to tell me, "I'm not your friend."
No, that's real.
And now she want to be your friend.
Yeah, but my 12-year-old daughter, we are friends.
Yeah,
I have to be her friend for her to open up to me, for her to talk to me, for her to express her emotions, her fears, all that. I couldn't do that with my mama because she was mama and I was child. Yeah. And so my daughter, she knows she's still my child, but we have a friend relationship.
And that's good. That's good. It just creates boundaries. I mean, I don't know the rest of y'all talking about because I'm the youngest child. So I kind of learned from seeing my sister and them do certain things, and I just didn't do it. So it's pretty easy to get whatever out of my mama.
That's good for you.
But I was still but my mama would say, she was like, I don't know, because everybody say that they feel like she silver spooned me, but she's like, you're the hardest working person I know. Yeah, you're the most like you'll drop whatever and do it for me, So I don't know where I came from. And she's big on that. Like, when I would say, like, you were so mean, you're strict. But now I think about it, and I'm like, hey,
you needed that.
Thank God, because, I mean, I don't know, I'm super close to my mom, but it's funny now, because she be like, what you do today? And I'm like, why you ain't my friend? So now she want to be my home girl.
Right.
That's cool. That's cool. So, I think that's good, though. Y'all just kind of, like I said, y'all dropping some gems on me because, man, I'm learning. And then, like, with this 2-year-old, man, listen. This little dude, I just see myself. I see him in both of them, but like with him, I really see myself all over again. But I don't want him to carry a lot of the weights that I had to carry. I carried a lot of burdens of like trying to make sure everything was good. And I just want both of them to really be kids. But with that young man, it's important that he be good. Baby girl, it was a tornado warning the other day. She said, "Daddy, you all right?" I said, "What you mean?" She said, "I'm over here with my grandpa. I'm watching the news." I said, "Watching the news?" She said, "Yeah, they said it's a tornado over there by you. You good?" I'm like, "I'm good." She called back 10 minutes later. They said it funneled. You sure you good? I'm like, "Okay, so what you gonna do? You gonna come get me?" She said, "I was on my way. Me and my grandpa, we was gonna come get my daddy." So you see, saying she's finding her way. Then the youngster, he looks up to her so much, but I want him to see what it's like to earn his keep, and not that he will. It's nothing wrong with spoiling your kids. I don't think there's nothing wrong with spoiling your kids. I think it's just more or less of the balance of making sure that your kids understand that some things will be given, a lot of things will be earned. And I think if you can get that understood with them, they definitely will be taken. They definitely will be taken. And all you got to do to make him cry is tell him he can't watch Bluppy, and you got. Shoot, he watching a little bit of everything. Right. It don't even matter. Like, but mainly Blippy. If Blippy, I'm sorry, they say Blippy, but if you tell him that, he got attitude. You know what I'm saying? But if he with his sister, or when he with his mom or his dad and his family, he's the life. He walk in, he control the room. He's that. So when you see that energy on him, man, you just like, dang, That's what I. And then like my cousins, and them, they see him, they like, man, that's you all over again. Yeah. I'm like, bro, I'm what they like, bro. You ask the same questions, you ask the same whys 100 times, and all of that thing like that. So it was cool. So that's dope. Okay, so I think I'm just about there. In life, things do happen, right? So I have this thing called emergency contacts. So if you're looking at it, not so much if something was happening, but just when things are going, who's the person that you call? If you know, saying something was to happen, who's the first person you're gonna call?
My husband.
You gonna call husband first? You gonna call husband first?
I'm gonna be honest and be real. A lot of times, it really depends on what it is, because sometimes, as a mama's girl, you still kind of want to see what their outlook on it.
Okay.
Now, when it's something that pertains to like my livelihood,
yeah,
you know, or something that can basically hinder him too, he's always definitely the first call.
Okay.
But sometimes it's so funny. My mom has such a close. He's like, "You ask your mama?" Like, what she say?
Okay.
You know, because she's his sounding board sometimes too.
Okay.
Really, but then I also always say I don't want to involve her in so much and make him ever feel like he is second, you know, door.
Gotcha.
So I've had to learn really recently, like, don't be calling your mama, that's so rude. And then you get home or something and you're like, yeah, your mama told me to. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I meant to tell you.
Yeah.
But, he's for sure the first, depending on what it is. But when it comes to certain things, I feel like my mama just kind of understand more.
Right.
Or I don't want to seem like I'm whining or nagging. I'm going to call her.
Okay. And then you
Yeah,
said husband, right?
I'm gonna call my husband because he operates off logic.
Oh.
So
Okay.
like in an emergency situation, he's calm, he's chill, and he can really help me make a decision
Gotcha.
based on logic.
Okay.
And so me and my mom being emotional creatures, I'm like, okay, let me call my husband. And then, you know, spouse thing, you know, spouse comes first, so it's like, let me call my husband.
Was that something that took a while to adjust to? The whole spouse coming first thing?
No, because I watched my mom submit to my dad, so I kind of grew up around that.
Okay.
And, you know, until he was killed. But she taught me about submission, you know, to the right one.
Correct.
You know, so she taught me about submission. So for me, in my household, my spouse comes first.
All right.
So I just kind of use that around like everything that I go.
Okay. So, you know, God forbid, if that was a change, who would be next?
My mama.
Mama then, and then mama and husband, vice versa. Okay. Okay, so I asked that because a lot of times our circles are, they small, but they big at the same time. And then sometimes you have those times in the moments where you like, man, those two people are not there and you don't know who to go to. So sometimes you got to like have another person. So I try to ask that question because things change so rapidly. And you'll wake up one day and it's this change. For me, in the last year or two, it changed. So now I find myself different moments, different situations. I got to call different people. But it also makes me stand in the wind by myself a lot and post up against the wall and kind of find my way out of it. You see what I'm saying? So I think that when you're dealing with it, your circle just got to be strong, man. It has to be strong. And if it's not, I think we have to talk about it. And I think really as men, we don't talk about nothing for real. We'll hold it in and be sitting there 20 years from now. And something we could have talked about 2-3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. But we dealing with it internally. So I think that that's one of those things. So before we get ready to get up out of here, I'm going to let both of y'all kind of tell me like what you got going on with your business, anything that you got coming up, and anything else you kind of want to drop down on us or whatever like that. I would love to hear it.
Okay, so Pink Lips, we're about to celebrate our 10-year anniversary.
Okay.
So we're going to be dropping a major product. I'm not going to say it yet.
Okay.
It is a really big product, so we're working on that. 10 years September, so I got about 5 or 6 more months.
September what?
22nd.
I don't care. If it was the 7th, it'd have really been a holiday, you know, so my son the
But
first.
it was in my mind around that time.
Hey,
so.
okay, count then. We'll celebrate it, okay.
So we're celebrating that, and we're in the midst of our collaboration with Vans.
Okay.
So I have on the T-shirt today.
Okay.
And then it's got some stuff on the back, but.
Gotcha.
So we're in the midst of that. That ends the end of April. That is called Foot the Bill. So they're collaborating with small Black-owned businesses.
Okay.
That they feel matches, well with their mission. So our mission and their mission kind of, comes together. And so that ends at the end of April. We have our own custom shoe and the T-shirt, and that is available at our website, pinklipscosmetics.com, and it's available at vans.com.
That's major.
So we're doing that, and then just a step back, I recently received a grant from Bay Good Foundation, Beyonce, and NAACP.
Okay.
So we received a $10,000 grant for that. So she recognized us on her website and things like that. We got another collaboration coming up at the end of May.
Can't say yet?
I think I can.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
You might not know about them.
I probably don't.
It is a subscription company, and it's the biggest subscription company of the world.
Okay.
Just so happened to be a makeup subscription company called Ipsy. I like Ipsy.
Okay.
So we're going to be collaborating with them.
All right.
Yes, and then we're just doing really great online, building our engagement and our exposure, and we're doing really good online. So my company's called Pink Lips Cosmetics. You can find us at pinklipscosmetics.com. Social media, Pink Lips Cosmetics. I have my own cosmetic store here in Kansas City, 1112 East 47 Terrace, where we sell our products, and we have 6 amazing professional makeup artists available to do your makeup, lashes, just a full service of beauty. Except for hair. So
y'all need to put something together then so y'all can slang the hair at the same time.
I used to go get my makeup done there.
Okay.
I used to go quite often. Currently, House of Strands, nowherebutstranded.com. We actually will be launching a collection called Stranded. And so basically what Stranded is basically going to be like all things me, pretty much like things that I like for self-care.
Gotcha.
So I am also collaborating with someone who's from Kansas City, Lit with Candles.
Okay.
And so she's making me, we've been working for some good mixtures. So our candle will be Stranded. That will be the title of it. And so it's going to be kind of like an exotic kind of feel, but with the undertone of like aromatherapy. So we're doing that. And then I have like a dope like bracelet that's coming in, and it kind of have like different jewels and stuff on it that basically shows like for your chakras and stuff like that. So I'm excited about that. Other than that, I'm just like trying to find ways to grow. Every year I do March of Doms, House of Strands. We always have our own. We make sure that we donate to that. And I do partnership with my sorority a lot of times. Last year in our region, I like raised the most money for that because I'm lucky enough to have friends and family that do support me. We're now planning for our 50 Shades of Pink, which I do for breast cancer, which is major to me. Yeah. And at first it started off really small, but last year I kind of wanted to do something more to get out there. And we were able to raise $15,000. And I was lucky enough for people around Kansas City to kind of join in and give their time for me to do it. Each day we posted pictures, you do a hashtag, we got paid for it. So that was exciting. So this year coming up, I'm hoping that it's going to be way bigger. I'm hoping that I find a sponsor.
Put me down. Put me down. Put me down now. I'm there. And I find me some pink cake.
We donate to an organization every year, but I'm trying to like really solidify something for every year. Like we be all over the place come October, and we have to like hurry up and figure it out. So could Pink Lips join in?
Easy.
Okay.
Easy.
See that how that works?
Yeah, something like because you're gonna be doing it every year, right?
Yeah.
I'm tired of like being all over the place trying to find a foundation.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Breast cancer came up because at one point in time, like obviously I did breast cancer. I've been doing it since like senior year. But my dad's side of the family is kind of scary. He had two sisters with breast cancer, like back to back, and it was some of the ones that like I really love. They're kind of like the reason like I'm super girly, and they both had battled with it really bad. And I remember her talking about how because my auntie's been doing hair for a long time, so she's self-employed, pay for her benefits, but a lot of that stuff would not cover breast cancer.
Right.
And so when I went and talked to the community chair for Susan G. Coleman, who's here, she talked about how a lot of times people think about donating money, and raising money, and it's worldwide. And so she basically had put a campaign together for me where I can pick some of Kansas City local hospitals that treat breast cancer stuff, and you can donate to them. Versus, so now we know that our money is going into our communities versus our money going out to Shawnee Mission, or going, to St. Jude somewhere where people that we love are not being serviced there.
Right.
And so it was a headache, but when I got done with it, I was so happy. I'm like, that was the best birthday gift. And I was super happy because on top of that, my business was able to donate, like a nice amount of money. And I cried because it was 30 days of posting and stuff, and people just don't get it right. I hated some of the pictures, but I said, hey, we're going to put a filter on it and whatever. Man. But I loved it because people really came and supported, and they did it for free.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Good cause, too.
it was fun. I actually did the pictures. I was nervous. She had me in
You
there.
were nervous. I'm like, I got mimosas for y'all.
She had me in
people
there
do
taking
stuff for free
pictures.
liquor. But it was really good, and I felt good about it. And I just remember being like, I can't wait for next year. So like next year, I'm hoping to do like so much more. But that's really all we have. Just kind of taking it.
I'll have one of my representatives reach out to you.
Okay, definitely.
Okay, no doubt. That's dope right there, man. I got that put together. I'm cool. I'm taking credit for that. That's cool, man. That's cool. So, okay, so all right. So also, I was talking to both of you ladies. I want to do something for my listeners. So my daughter's birthday is July 12th. My son's birthday September 1st. You put it together, you get 13. So if y'all can do like maybe like a discount code. I don't know how long you want to run it. We'll talk about it afterwards. We'll put something together. I'll post it on my Instagram. You guys post it on yours as well. We'll see how it do. Kind of push people to do that as well. So we'll do a discount code, just 13%. I mean, if you think it should be higher, we can add some more birthdays to it. We can add the 7 to it and tighten it up as you want to. But I think it'll be cool, you know what I'm saying, to do that. Just to kind of get the support. And then I just want to also show love to my people for listening. Yeah. And then different things like that. Are y'all okay with that?
Yeah, so I already have it set up. So it is GoodDays 13.
GoodDays 13.
So if it don't have to be in caps, or it can be in caps, so it's not sensitive. So if you go to our website, Pink Lips Cosmetic, you check out, right there when you check out, it's going to ask for a coupon.
That's what's up.
And then you can put in GoodDays 13 and get 13% off.
I'm cool with that. That's what's up.
Ours is 13 great.
13 great?
And so we're going to do it for 13 days.
Okay.
So it'll be 13% off. And then our Hustle Her apparel, the T-shirts will be $13. So
Man, that's what's up, man.
Ours is not going to end.
It's going to roll.
It's going to roll with it.
Okay.
So you got it.
Okay, that's cool, man. I'm listening, man. Y'all got to be smiling and blushing and stuff. That's cool. That's cool, though, because that's cool, man. I appreciate it.
So as long as you're doing this, they get a discount code.
We're going to keep rolling it. And then we'll just, every month, I'll make sure that I give my people and we'll push it as well. Okay, so anything else? Any gems, any jewels, any quotes, anything you got? Anything on your mind y'all want to talk about?
Yeah, I can. A mantra that I live by is "What's for you is for you."
Oh.
I mean, at the end of the day, if it's for you, it's gonna happen. You know, a lot of people want things handed to them. A lot of people just want to go through life, just skate through life.
Right.
A lot of people is envious. A lot of people is like, you know, they be hating and all that. And it's like, what's for you is for you. If it's meant to be, it will be. If you're supposed to have it, you're gonna have it. You work hard for it, you're gonna get it. So I really believe in what's for you is for you, which allows me to be happy for people. Genuinely happy for people because I know when it's my time, it's my time.
Right, and that's good to be a big cheerleader for people too.
Mm-hmm. And it's easy to be a cheerleader when you really know that, when you wholeheartedly know that God got something for me, and I can be happy for this person, even if I'm in that time where I'm not receiving the extra blessings that I want or whatever. I know that God got something for me, and I know it's coming. If I put my foot forward, or I can keep the faith, and it allows me to help people and bring them up and take them through them stairs that I'm going through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's one thing that I live by. So I really encourage people to really know that what's for you is for you.
Okay. You got something or you good?
I'm just big on right now, truly just manifest.
Right.
Lately, like sometimes you do get down, you do kind of like, you kind of almost deter away from what you're supposed to be doing. So I've just like really been big on like manifesting what you want. It sounds so cliche at first because I was a person like, oh my God, I'm so tired of hearing it.
Right.
But it's so real. So like I literally wake up in the morning and that's my time to myself. I meditate and I can honestly say stuff has been happening, things have been seen, even stuff good or bad. So I would just say manifest what you want and just make sure that you're actually, you got to make sure when you're manifesting it's something that you really want to receive. You have to definitely be passionate. Like, so that's it, manifest.
Okay, so I appreciate y'all, ladies. I do got a shirt for y'all on some GoodDays, GreatNights type stuff. I did purple for the House of Strands, and I did pink for Pink Lips, of course. I'm gonna get ready to get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all so much for vibing with me, man.
Thanks for having us,
man. I appreciate y'all for coming in. So, like I tell you all the time, man, may God be your seatbelt and we be your directions. Till the next time we see each other, man. It's always GoodDays, GreatNights, man. Y'all be cool. Be safe.
promise to tell the truth, nothing but the truth. Tell it like it really is. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. Uncomfortable conversations are needed for growth and closure. Be real with it.